Hello everyone, it's your girl here again, Adedoyin Omotara, the founder of Adonia Beauty. Today I want to share with you how to actually start your business with clarity. Now, for me, this was a big deal because I launched my business, I launched my product, and all of a sudden I felt stuck. I'm like, oh my God, how do I even start marketing this business? What do I even do from here? Should I go to trade shows? Do I need, should I take my product, to bloggers to market for me, or how do I, kick things off? And I had a business plan, a full business plan that I had a full marketing plan and all of that, but I just got so overwhelmed with myself. And at that time, there was just nothing to do. I kept analyzing, and it took me about 3 months of doing nothing, absolutely nothing on the business. I just got overwhelmed and I did nothing after launching my product. And then what I did that changed things was that I hired a coach. So at that time, what I did with the coach, it was a life coach, not a business coach, because I didn't even know the direction to take even with my life. That's the funny thing. So I hired a life coach, and all I did at that time was a why discovery session. And as soon as I finished that why discovery session, it changed the game for me. That was all I needed to know the direction to take. So I started, making decisions based on what my reason of existence is. So at that time, I established my why statement to be, I want to connect women to their individual beauty. So I want to connect women to their individual beauty, and that was my why. And at that time, as soon as I discovered that why, I was able to make decisions for my branding, for my marketing, for sales, for every aspect of my business. It was not long after then that I read a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek, and it just validated everything I was doing. So he went through, all the big companies that actually started with why and how they are so innovative. A very good example is Apple. Apple, their main why is to change the status quo. So they get into any industry, they have their market share. They get into the computer industry, they have their market share. They get into the music industry with the iPods and things, and they also have their market share. It's so easy for them because they know why they are there, and that drives everything they do. Even their marketing, they did some marketing with Pepsi. That's because Pepsi is a company that mirrors what they are doing, because Pepsi is also changing the status quo. It's the only brand that was able to compete with Coca-Cola, which was a monopoly before. So companies like this inspire me because they started with why. And what it really helps you to do is it helps you to be clear on what you want to do. It takes you away from that competitive zone, and you become innovative. You don't care. Like right now, I don't care what Sephora is doing, what Mark is doing, what any other makeup industry or makeup, any other makeup company is doing, because I know my why, and everything I want to do has to be aligned with my why. So when you see me launching teen beauty journal, when you see me launching merchandise, maybe throw pillows or still coffee cups or whatever, or mugs, or whatever I'm launching, everything is tying to that why, and that is how I operate. And that is the only reason why I'm motivated, I'm innovative. I'm not following a cookie cutter method to run my business. Also, another company that really intrigues me is Mary Kay. When I read the book Life and Times of Mary Kay actually started with why. She didn't even know the business she wanted to do. She did not know. All she knew was that she wanted to give women hope. She had been in this career all her life where she was so good at her job, and she always ended up training men, and at the end of the day, those men become our boss, or they get paid more than her. So she just felt, so those were the early times feminists. So she felt women were being treated unfairly, and she decided to build a company for women that will give them hope and that will give them endless possibilities to how much they can make or whatever they can do, with their lives. And that was when she now started thinking, oh, what kind of business would actually work, well with this concept that I have in mind. And she thought, okay, cosmetics, women like cosmetics. So these people started with why, and that is what makes their businesses sustainable. So starting with why not only gives you success, and it not only makes you innovative, you get a sustainable brand. Because even as long as the CEO, you have, or as a founder of the company, you have passed on that vision statement into, or that why statement, or the vision statement, and you've passed it on to your workers, to your staff, and it's well documented. If another CEO steps up, all they need to look at is the vision statement. They know where they're going, so they can get innovative, and you don't have to be redundant or keep doing things the old way, right? So for me, starting with why has really helped me, and I know that a lot of companies, even a company like Starbucks was selling experience. His main aim was to create a third home for people, a third home where you're leaving your house, you're leaving work, and you meet in a place that still feels like home, that still feels cozy. So they're selling that experience, they're not selling coffee. So I want you to take your time and discover your why. And today I'll be sharing a few tips for how you can actually discover your own why. And once you can discover your why statement, once you can discover your why statement, then you can coin your business around it, or any organization you want to start, either it's a ministry or whatever. You can then develop that. And even if you have started your business, you can always go back to the drawing board like I did. And since then, I've seen massive progress, massive improvement with my business, because I am not competing. I am not looking at what people are doing. I am not following cookie cutter method. I am basically just innovating everything that I'm doing. So I'll be sharing with you right now steps to take to actually define your own why for yourself. So the first thing you need to do is to do a timeline. The first thing you need to do is to do a timeline of your life. So what I did when I was supposed to, when I worked with my coach, and I did a timeline of my life, was I wrote primary school, secondary school, which is what they call high school here, university, my 20s, marriage. So I divided it into all those sections so that I can think of, memories that I can really remember from those, from when I was, from those memories, so that I can easily bring back memories from when I was, at those stages of my life. So one thing that really stood out, that one big memory that stood out for me, was when I was in high school. Well, I was pretty much a good girl, wasn't involved in malpractices or anything, but it got to a point where there was this time I went home. I was in a boarding school, and I went home for holiday. I went home, I think I was sick for a few days, and then I came back, and then my friends told me that there was an award night, and the boys did an award for the girls, and the girls did an award for the boys. That was new for the school. We never used to do that. And the boys gave one of my friends an award called cowbell, which meant she had big boobs. So as soon as I heard that, I felt so sad. I felt so bad. And I was like, no, that's not an award. We're not going to take that. We're going to retaliate. Of course we retaliated. We got into trouble. I mobilized a group of 7 girls, and the following time we were going to do an award, we did something really bad for the boys. It was so bad. We got sent home to our parents. My parents were not happy about what I did. But when I was doing this memory lane thing, what that taught me was that I cannot stand when women are being maltreated, just generally. I cannot stand it, and I should be a voice for that, right? So those were the kind of things, those were the kind of stories I was saying. Now, not everything add that thing, but eventually when you put together your stories, you're going to get similar things. And when you get those similar things, you're going to be able to craft out your story or your why. You're going to be able to craft out what your why is from things that you have done in the past and how you just naturally reacted to situations. You're going to know what your why is. So another thing you want to do to identify, to know what your why is you need to ask yourself some questions. And some of the questions are, what do I feel strongly about? What do I lose sleep over? What can I do for free? So some of these things, you feel so passionate about them that you won't mind volunteering, to just help this woman. You won't mind volunteering for these courses. What help do people ask me for? What books do you read? What books do you really like? Why are your friends your friends? You can actually ask your friends, why are you my friend? Of course, they might give you some silly answers at first, but be persistent and actually ask why they are your friends. What do people say you do well? So these are some questions you can actually ask yourself. But the main thing you need to do is do a timeline of your life and try and gather stories and then identify themes. Once you identify those themes, you can then ask yourself all these other questions that I've put down. Also, once you've identified those things and you've gathered those stories, I need to give you the characteristics of a why statement. You want something very simple and clear. Now, a why statement, so I'm going to give you some characteristics that your why statement needs to have. A why statement needs to be simple and clear. A why statement needs to be simple and clear. It can't be like a long paragraph. It's just going to be a simple sentence and very clear, so that you can narrow things down as to, if you know your why, then you can then discover how you want to deliver your why and what are the things you're supposed to do to actually deliver your why. So why comes first, then your how comes second, and then what comes third. Also, your why statement needs to be actionable. You can't just give a random sentence that doesn't have any action. It has to be actionable. It also has to be focused on the effect you will have on others. A why statement has to be focused on the effect you will have on others. Also, a why statement needs to be expressed in affirmative language that resonates with you. So the format should be to ... so that ... For instance, mine is to connect women to their individual beauty so that they can live a fuller and more expressive life. Right? So it has to come with come with the impact you have on others, and not just saying a statement. To connect women to their individual beauty so that they can live a fuller and more expressive life. That's mine. So you can come up with yours too. There is no right or wrong, but make sure that you are extracting that why statement information from your timeline, from your similar themes, from the themes you have gathered from the stories that you have gathered from your timeline, from the themes that you have developed from the stories that you gathered from the timeline of your life. So for me, this has been a game changer in my business, because if you're running a business, you are not a different person. You are the same person at home, in your business, in church, or any other way, any other place you go. So you need to discover why, because your why, which is your purpose in life, should radiate everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. So once you discover that, then it's easy for you to actually know the direction to go with your business. And you're not just running a business blindly or based on what somebody else has done. You're running an innovative business, and easily you will have raving fans, because your business is art-centered. It's not just another business. It's not just another makeup business. It's a heart-centered business, right? So you have fans that they don't know why they're buying from you. They're just buying from you, and you've taken yourself away from the level of competing based on price, based on features, based on benefits, and you're basically just innovating and creating, and that is where you want to be. So in my Launch and Scale a Profitable Business course, I go into this in more detail, and the why discovery session is well detailed, and you're going to be able to actually discover your why. That's the foundation of the course. And once you do that, they will take you through a mindset mastery program, and then after then we'll now start talking on your business and how to actually grow it. So till my next video, stay beautiful.